Hello YouTube viewers, my name is Bill with B&B Xbox 360 Repair Shop in Indianapolis, Indiana. We are a repair business. We fix all systems, anything that comes out, and we also reball chips. So just want to do this video. We get a lot of emails from everybody, and they want to know certain questions. This video, it will actually help you out, and it will help you, fix it step by step. And I'm going to explain to you a difference about thermal compound as well. ps3, ylods, what a bear. Your system heats up. There is a reason why it heats up. The thermal compound that's on top of the CPU, GPU is becoming very wear. It's wearing down, it's wearing down, it's wearing down, and it's getting real thin. So therefore, the heat sink and the GPU and the CPU is sitting on top of each other. Well, there ain't no filler in between, which is thermal compound. After it becomes, heated up, there's nothing cooling that chip down. So therefore, boom, system fails. Turn it back on, boom, it fails. You're like, well, what the fuck? Okay, it's broke, it's trash, throw the trash. Well, guess what? It's not trash. Okay, basically the step-by-step on how to fix it. Well, before, thermal compound. If you don't know anything about thermal compound, do some research on thermal compound. Arctic Silver 5, yes, it's the best thermal compound. It's this, it's that, it's super cooled. There's a lot more different thermal compounds. There's Flow Masters, there's Great Masters, there's actually acrylics, ceramics, grease. Actually, it's called GPU grease. Well, guess what? Arctic Silver is not the best by far for a PS3 system. Maybe computers? Yes. Arctic Silver 5 is aquidized metal inside the actual thermal compound. Acrylic is the best thermal compound you got out there. It's the best because it doesn't have no aquidized metal in it whatsoever. So therefore, when you apply it onto your chips, well, if you get it on your board, for one, it won't short out your board. If you put Arctic Silver 5 on your chips, and you get it on the board, you better get it off your board because it conducts, of the metal flex conducts. So it will short out your board. People have applied it to the boards and turn it on and zap. I don't know why their system won't start up no more. Well, that's the reason why. So basically, you can go to Radio Shack or any electronic store. Tell them you want white thermal compound. Anything that's white, not gray, not black. White acrylic ceramic thermal compound. It's $6.99 a tube. We get the jars from China, so we don't actually buy them from Radio Shack. We used to buy them from Radio Shack until we found a wholesaler that we could buy large quantities of thermal compound. Basically, what you need to do is break your system down to the motherboard. Whatever technique you have, either you got a heat gun or you got a reflow machine. They both work as long as you stay about 3-4 inches away from the chips when you heat them up. Heat them up for 3 minutes. Don't touch the board whatsoever. Don't bump it. Don't move it. Don't touch it. Again, don't touch it. Let it cool down for about 10 minutes. Reapply one tube on the CPU, one tube on the GPU. Spread it out evenly. Go to Lowe's or any electronic place that you want to get a row of aluminum. You can get a big row, and cut 1,000 shims. Take a little tape measure, measure your actual chip, your CPU and your GPU. Cut your shims. Now check this out. When you put the thermal compound on the chips, put the shim right on top of the thermal compound. Bloop. Guess what? Now you're ready to put your system back together. When you put your fan and your heat sinks back onto your motherboard, it's not going to touch the thermal compound. When you put it together and you tighten everything up, the thermal compound has nowhere to go but to stay on your chip because there's a shim on top of it. So here's the chip, here's the thermal compound, here's a shim, here's the heat sink. This works also for PS3s. So for all you guys out there to say, I fixed my machines and I don't know why the thermal compound keeps coming off, put a shim on top of your processors and you'll be like, wow, hey, hold up, this thing is fixed for real. For all you guys out there, we do this to all of our systems. You know, you could go to eBay and buy copper shims, but I'm going to tell you, copper is good for heat, yes, but it's not good for tarnish. Copper will get, you know, the heat will get to the copper will start sweating, and then the actual copper starts sweating, it'll start turning green, and then it'll tarnish, and then eventually your system's broke down again, and therefore, well, guess what? You should have used aluminum. You know, aluminum doesn't tarnish, it doesn't sweat. Aluminum is made for heat. So, again, reapply the thermal compound, put shims on top of the thermal compound, put your heat sinks back together, put all your system back together, and you'll find it very effective, and it works every time. You're going to be like, wow, you know what? That makes sense. Processors, thermal compound, shims, heat sinks on top. Thermal compound won't get transferred over to the heat sink. When you take off your heat sink again, you're going to go, man, there ain't no thermal compound. But guess what? Problem solved. If you guys want to continue to email me, I'm going to do another video for all your Xbox 360 repairs, all the problems you guys having with those. I've been working with a lot of people on how to fix their machines. There's a lot of people that want to learn. I also need Indianapolis to do classes, $50 a class, to actually teach people on how to properly fix their systems, so that way they don't have to go somewhere else to get it fixed, or they don't have to send it off to get it fixed. And on top of that, they can make their own money back by charging somebody else 50 bucks. You know, hey, I can fix your system for $50. Then they make their money back, so they more or less they get free information. Plus, they make more money doing it. So, feel free to leave a comment at the end of the screen, and you know, go ahead and fix your PS3s, and leave a comment on how you did. Oh, video's still rolling. All right, well, you have a nice day.